Baby, let me tell you something that most people don't talk about when they're preaching about success and healing and transformation. They don't talk about the people who hold you up when life tries to knock you down, the ones who love you when you're not lovable, the ones who believe in you when your own faith is shaky and your knees are trembling and your heart feels like it's barely holding on. That right there is your personal support system. And I need you to know this isn't about how many people follow you on social media or how many acquaintances smile at you in public. This is about the tribe, the circle, the rock, solid few who show up when the lights are off and your soul is whispering for help. It's about the sister, friends who pray for you without being asked, the brother who shows up with groceries when your fridge is empty, the mentor who sees greatness in you even when you're stuck in your mess. Because baby, your bounce back, your rise, your glow up. It's not just fueled by ambition and talent. It's also built on the shoulders of the people who pour into you when your cup is dry, who remind you who you are when life makes you forget. And I get it, sometimes you feel like you've got to do it all alone because life taught you that vulnerability was weakness, that asking for help was shameful, that trusting people leads to disappointment. But hear me, healing happens in connection. Growth happens in community. Strength is found in knowing you don't have to carry the weight all by yourself. So if you've been walking through life with a smile that hides your ache and a strength that masks your loneliness, I see you, and I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do it all alone anymore. You were never meant to. You were never designed to thrive in isolation. The personal support system you build isn't just a luxury. It's your lifeline. It's your safety net when the climb gets steep. It's the oxygen you need when the air gets thin at the top. And yes, sometimes it takes courage to let people in, to be honest about your needs, to admit when you're not okay. But baby, vulnerability is not weakness, it's power. It's the doorway to deeper connection, to richer love, to more authentic relationships. And it's how you create the kind of support system that doesn't just stand beside you when you shine, but also lifts you when you stumble. All right, baby, let's keep going because this is where it gets real. The kind of real that reaches deep down into your soul and reminds you that it's okay to be human. It's okay to need someone. It's okay to lean when you can't stand tall by yourself, because this life wasn't meant to be walked as a solo journey, and I know sometimes you've had to be your own cheerleader, your own comfort, your own strength, because the people who should have been there weren't, or maybe they didn't know how, or maybe they were fighting their own battles, and you learned to cope in silence, to smile in pain, survive when all you wanted to do was fall apart. And I need you to know right now that survival is honorable. But baby, thriving is your birthright, and you can't thrive if you're constantly pouring from a cup that's empty, if you're always showing up for everyone else and leaving nothing for yourself. And you can't build a legacy alone. You can't heal in a vacuum. You can't bloom without sunlight and water. And sometimes that sunlight is the warm embrace of a friend who sees the sadness behind your strength. Sometimes that water is the encouragement of someone who refuses to let you quit on yourself. And sometimes that nourishment is the truth spoken in love by someone who's not afraid to hold up a mirror and say, "Baby, you've forgotten who you are. Let me help you remember." And I know it hurts when you've been disappointed before, when your trust has been broken, when your cries have been ignored. But you are not meant to keep everyone out forever, because while walls protect, they also imprison, and your heart deserves more than isolation disguised as independence. So I want to challenge you today to look around at who's in your life and ask yourself, who really sees me, who really loves me when I'm not performing, when I'm not strong, when I'm just me, raw and unfiltered, who shows up without keeping score, who listens without trying to fix, supports without judgment, because those are your people, that's your village, and your village doesn't have to be big. It just has to be true, it just has to be safe, it just has to be full of people who can handle your dreams and your doubts, your light and your darkness. And if you don't have that yet, it's okay, baby. It's never too late to build it. It's never too late to call in the tribe that matches your vibration. The ones who want to grow with you, cry with you, celebrate with you. The ones who won't let you quit. The ones who will pray over you and laugh with you and hold your hand when life feels like too much, because you deserve that. You deserve that kind of love, that kind of connection, that kind of support, not just in your wins, but in your weariness. Not just when you're strong, but especially when you're struggling. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to prove anything to be worthy of it. You don't have to earn it by being perfect. You don't have to shrink to receive it. You just have to open your heart and say, I'm ready to be held while I heal. I'm ready to be seen while I grow. I'm ready to allow love in even when I don't feel lovable. Because, baby, that's when your personal support system becomes your foundation, your sanctuary, your secret weapon, and that's when everything begins to change. And let me tell you something, baby. Having a personal support system is not about having 100 people clapping for you when you win. It's about having that one person who shows up when you lose, when you're down, when your light is dim, when you can't find your own voice and you need someone to remind you of your song. It's that adored friend, that soul sister or brother, that mentor, that coach, that elder who's walked the road before you and can tell you how to dodge the potholes, how to hold your head up, how to cry without giving up, because life is going to test you, baby, and sometimes it'll feel like everything is crashing at once. The bills, the relationships, the job, the dreams. But when you have a solid personal support system, you have people who don't just show up when the lights are on. They show up with flashlights when everything goes dark. They remind you of your why. They hold your hand without needing to fix you. They listen without judgment. They push you without shaming you. They believe in your bounds. Back before you even remember you have one. And I need you to understand that asking for support is not weakness. It's wisdom, it's courage, it's strength in its most divine form, because we weren't created to do life alone. We were made to thrive in connection. And yes, it's true that not everyone in your circle is in your corner. And yes, you might have to let some people go who only love the version of you that didn't make waves. Baby, once you start growing, once you start healing, once you start stepping into your full power, you're going to need a support system that doesn't just tolerate your evolution. They celebrate it, they nourish it, they protect it, and when the old voices in your head get loud again, you know, the ones that say you're not enough, that you're asking for too much, that you should settle. You'll need your people to speak louder, to remind you of your worth, to remind you of your mission, to remind you that you didn't come this far to give up. And yes, sometimes your support system is not the people you've known the longest, but the ones who see you the clearest, the ones who don't flinch when you cry, who don't run when you're angry, who don't get jealous when you shine. And I know you've been hurt before. I know you've trusted people who turned their backs. I know you've shut up for others who didn't return the favor, but don't let that harden your heart to the point where you push everyone away. Because healing doesn't mean isolation. Healing means surrounding yourself with love that feels like safety, like truth, like home. And that means being intentional with who you let in. It means knowing your worth so deeply that you stop entertaining energy that drains you, that you stop shrinking to keep the peace, that you stop dimming your light to make others comfortable, because the right support system won't need you to be less of yourself. They'll encourage you to be more, and they'll love you through the mess, not just the success. So if you don't have that yet, baby, go create it, go build it, go pray for it. Go attract it by becoming the kind of support you wish you had, because you deserve a community that holds you up, not weighs you down, a tribe that claps for you in private, not just in public, a team that sees your soul, not just your skills. And I promise you, when you have that kind of love surrounding you, there's nothing you can't overcome, no mountain too high, no valley too low, because the power of your support system is reminder that you are never alone, that you are seen, that you are valued, and that every time you fall, you have arms waiting to catch you, not to carry you, but to remind you that you still have the strength to stand. And baby, sometimes that reminder is all you need to keep moving forward. And baby, let me remind you, having a personal support system doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to understand that life is heavy sometimes, and nobody was meant to carry all that weight alone. And even the strongest need someone to lean on when the days are long and the nights are even longer, when your thoughts start to turn against you, when your inner critic gets louder than your inner cheerleader. And that's when your support system becomes your lifeline, the voice that says, I see you, I hear you, I've got you. And you don't have to pretend to be okay around them. You don't have to wear your mask or hold your breath or swallow your pain to make them comfortable, because they're not intimidated by your truth. They're inspired by it. They don't expect you to always have it together. They just want to help you hold it together until you can breathe again. And baby, that kind of love is sacred, it's rare, and it's necessary. And maybe you've spent so long being the strong one that you forgot what it feels like to be held. Maybe you've been the goat for everyone else, the fixer, the helper, the one who always knows what to say and what to do. But now it's your turn to receive, your turn to be poured into, your turn to be reminded that your strength is beautiful, but your softness is divine too. And the people who truly love you won't run from your broken pieces. They'll sit with you in rubble and help you rebuild without ever making you feel like a burden. And yes, sometimes your personal support system starts with just one person, one safe place, one brave conversation that says, "I'm not okay and I need help." And baby, there's no shame in that, there's power in that, because vulnerability is the bridge to connection, and connection is the soil where healing grows. So I want you to stop telling yourself that you have to do this alone, that no one understands, that your pain is too much, that your story is too messy, because someone out there is praying for a friend like you. Someone out there has the wisdom you've been searching for. Someone out there has walked the road you're on and can help you navigate the storm with a little more grace, a little more hope, and a lot more faith. And the right support system will remind you that you're not broken beyond repair. You're just breaking open to become someone even more powerful, even more aligned, even more real. And the more you allow yourself to be supported, the more you'll start to see that strength isn't about how much you can endure on your own. It's about knowing when to reach out, when to ask for help, when to say, "I need someone to just sit with me right now." And baby, that's not weakness. That's resilience in action. That's love in motion. That's the foundation for everything beautiful that comes next. Because once you've felt that kind of support, you'll never settle for anything less again, and you'll start to build your own circle of truth tellers, soul lifters, heart healers who aren't afraid of your light or your darkness, who stand beside you not for what you can give them, but for who you are at your core, and they will mirror back the strength you forgot you had, the joy you thought you lost, the vision you tucked away because it hurt too much to hope, and suddenly the world won't feel so heavy, the journey won't feel so lonely, and the climb won't feel so impossible, because now you've got hands on your back, pushing you forward, holding you steady, whispering, "You were never meant to do this by yourself." And that truth alone can be the light that leads you home. And baby, as you start to accept that love, that support, that soul, deep reminder that you don't have to be everything for everyone all the time, something begins to shift inside you. A softening, a surrender, a sacred kind of healing that only happens when you realize you are worthy of being carried too, and it doesn't make you less capable. It makes you more human, more open, more available for the blessings you've been asking for. Because when you stop trying to do it all alone, you make room for God to work through the people around you, to send you angels in the form of friends, family, mentors, and strangers who speak life into your dreams, who hold you up when you can't see past your pain, who remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not alone in the wilderness of your struggle. And that's when you start to see the value of a support system, not just as emotional backup, but as a divine network designed to elevate you, to stretch you, to hold you accountable to your growth and your greatness, because the truth is, the version of you that you're becoming can't be built in isolation, can't be sculpted in silence, can't be sustained by self-doubt. Need iron to sharpen iron, you need love to soften the jagged edges, and you need people who can see past your potential and into your purpose. People who challenge your comfort zone, who disrupt your limiting beliefs, who pull you out of your pity party and back into your power. And it's okay if you've never had that before. It's okay if support feels foreign or fragile, because every strong support system starts with the courage to be seen, the courage to say, "I matter enough to be held to." And once you begin building that piece by piece, moment by moment, conversation by conversation, you'll realize you were never truly without. It was always waiting for you to say yes to it, to make space for it, to trust that your soul family exists, even if they don't look like what you expected. Even if they come into your life in ways you never imagined. And baby, once you say yes to receiving, you give permission for the people who have been praying for someone like you to step forward. And now you're not just surviving, you're thriving, because support doesn't just keep you going, it helps you grow, it amplifies your joy, it accelerates your healing, and it brings the kind of peace that lets you sleep at night knowing you are loved beyond your performance, you are valued beyond your productivity, and you are held not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So let yourself be supported, let yourself be seen, and let the power of connection remind you that you were never meant to climb this mountain alone. And baby, the moment you say yes to building your personal support system is the moment you begin rewriting the narrative that told you strength meant silence, that resilience meant isolation, that being a strong one meant carrying the weight of the world without ever letting it show. But I came to tell you that your strength is not in your ability to endure alone. Your strength is in your willingness to be vulnerable, to ask for help when your knees are buckling, to cry in the arms of someone who sees you not as weak but as wise enough to know that we were created for connection. And when you allow yourself to be held, to be heard, to be hugged through your hurt, you tap into a level of healing that you can't reach in solitude. You begin to realize that every time you lean into your circle, you're not taking a step back. You're taking a giant leap forward, because connection is not a detour on your journey, it's the fuel for it. And baby, don't let past betrayals, rejections, or disappointments rob you of the joy of receiving love now. Just because someone didn't show up for you the way you needed doesn't mean no one ever will. Just because you were let down before doesn't mean you're doomed to always walk alone. Let that pain inform you, but not imprison you. Let it teach you how to recognize safe people, real people, loyal people who are not threatened by your shine or intimidated by your growth, but are inspired by it, who want to pour into you the same way you've poured into others for so long. And I know, baby, it's scary to open up when you've been shut down so many times. It's hard to trust when you've been hurt, to hope when you've been disappointed, but the truth is, your next level of healing requires your next level of community. You need a tribe that doesn't just cheer when you win but walks with you through the ugly, the messy, the in-between. A tribe that reminds you that you are never too much and never not enough. A tribe that loves you in your becoming and doesn't need you to be perfect to be present. And that tribe starts with you. It starts with you setting boundaries that protect your peace. It starts with you saying no to toxic relationships, even if they are familiar. It starts with you choosing people who choose you back. It starts with you believing that you are worthy of love that doesn't hurt, doesn't drain, doesn't dim your light, but helps you shine brighter. You see, baby, when you surround yourself with the right people, everything changes. Your faith deepens, your courage expands, your purpose becomes clearer, and the dream you once thought was too heavy to carry suddenly feels lighter because you're not carrying it alone. That's the gift of support. That's the power of your personal support system, and you owe it to yourself to build it, nurture it, and lean on it. Not just when things fall apart, but when they come together too, because your joy deserves a witness. Your growth deserves a celebration, and your healing deserves a safe place to land. So go on and open your heart to receive, because your tribe is out there waiting to walk this journey with you, and they're just as ready to love you as you are to finally be loved right.